MTV's 90's House sends millennials back in time. The castaways of Gilligan's Island had no phone, no lights, no motor car, as the theme song lyrics put it. And for the castaways in California for MTV's 90's House, premiering Tuesday, the retro abode in which they live has no smartphone, no LED lights and no electric car. Also no laptops, no internet, and no Spanx. When we got to the house we had no idea they were gonna take away our clothing, laughs Shamonique Winter, 24, of Brentwood,
New York. One of 12 millennial housemates competing in 1990's theme challenges, presented by hosts Lance Bass and Christina Meline, and trying not to get evicted on the way to the $90,000 grand prize. Down to our undergarments we dress like the 90's. More like the early 90's, the men's Will Wagner, 27, born in Lindenhurst, New York, and raised mainly in Belmore, where he still lives. The internet only began reaching critical mass among the public in the mid-1990s, changing everything, but before then, as he notes, things were still basically
CD players and boomboxes and cassettes. We had a big shelf of VHS tapes. Clearly, for them, living in 90's house was dope, the bomb, all that in a bag of chips. Being in 90's house was super fun, says Winter, who already had a predilection for the decade. I like CD players. I have lots of CDs, my Britney Spears, my Pink, my Spice Girls, my TLC. I don't know why we stopped having CDs. Wagner not only loves the 1990's, he makes his living from them, as proprietor of the vintage apparel store Deep Cover on Manhattan's Lower East Side. It opened in February 2016 and counts comedian Aziz Ansari, actor Jaden Smith and singer Joe Jonas among its clientele. Did the other contestants resent Wagner for his 90's expertise? There was a little bit of that, he says, because for me going into this house I'm like, I do this every day. But, he adds, everyone in the house is great. I love every single person. Living in the house with everybody, whatever else it was, you get a bond with these people because you're all in it together. Indeed, agree Wagner and Winter, the 90's will be sticking around for a few years. Everything from that era, everyone wants again, Wagner says. They're bringing everything back, NES Classic with 30 Nintendo games. French Toast Crunch. Crystal Pepsi. People my age, we remember these things, we want them, he says. But there's more to it than that, he adds. My demographic was probably the last to really remember life pre-internet. You go to the supermarket today and a little kid sitting in a shopping cart has an iPhone. Your kid starts crying? Give him an iPad, damn it. It was a completely different way of life. MTV's 90's House. Premieres 11 p.m. Tuesday. MTV.